Hey everyone, welcome back. I am doing a reading for, what is it today? Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. And yeah, as I shuffle the cards, I'm getting an idea of what everyone's kind of going through for today. Just kind of tapping into that energy. And if this doesn't resonate with you, then please move on. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing something a little different. I'm in my parents' sunroom, and behind me is, I don't know if you can see it, it's my good friend Hector back here, so he's hanging out. Yeah, I figured I'd do something just slightly different. Anyway. And for those of you that don't know, I like to pull 2 cards before I get into my reading, just to get an idea of which way the reading is headed, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. So right now we have the Ace of Swords and the Two of Wands. So it seems like we're really starting to make a choice about what path to go down. Like, the Ace of Swords is all about, like, thinking about how to do things in a really kind of level-headed way, but also the Two of Wands is really about learning when to take that left turn. This is my left hand, anyway. Or, you know, the road less traveled, whichever, you know, Robert Frost poem. That's how I make connections. That's just my mind going before my mouth. Anyway, so yeah, it's just about, like, figuring out which way to go. Like, do you go through the wands or do you go around them, right? So we'll see how this kind of pans out. We have the Queen of Pentacles next. This is really just about someone who is really, like, welcoming and a very earthy type of person, someone who's very grounded. So it could be someone, it could be just some kind of energy of having this sort of grounded approach to how you're figuring out which path to take with the Two of Wands. I'm pulling a clarifier for the next card that I pulled because I just want to see where it's headed. Okay, so you're really trying to get past some kind of heartbreak or trauma because we have the Three of Swords here. And this is really just like learning to move forward, sort of forward momentum of the way that you think about things. And we also have the Four of Pentacles as well. And with the Four of Pentacles as the clarifier, it's really just about figuring out what really, like, resonates with you and what really makes you happy, and again, your values, like really considering what is close to your heart. It could also be interpreted as sort of selfishness, but I really don't think that in this instance of the reading, it's really signifying that. Okay, we have another queen. We have the Queen of Wands. And this energy is really just about like going for what you want, really having that kind of mindset of going for what you want, really, really focusing on your desires, what you really love about yourself, and how you can turn that self-love around and love others. And be passionate about the work that you do, too. We have the Knight of Swords next. And this Knight of Swords is really just about like being able to go forward with decisions that you make. So it comes underneath the Two of Wands, which is kind of interesting because you're really kind of, in this way, this instance, I'm reading it as making the decision to go through the Two of Wands. So really kind of charging through that and focusing on the better path and really like deciding what is best for you at this moment. So you don't necessarily know what the outcome will be because we have the moon. And with the moon, that's really just about looking inward, really focusing on things that maybe you don't necessarily know, really kind of meditating, kind of bringing things up from the unconscious to the conscious mind, really kind of exploring that hidden world within yourself, as well as spiritually speaking too. Like what kinds of conclusions can you make about the non-physical, the sort of ethereal, spiritual, cerebral realm, as opposed to what's in physical, tangible vicinity to you. Again, I'm pulling another clarifier. So we have the Devil, and the clarifier for that is the Six of Swords, excuse me. And so I really think that with the Devil here, it's just like letting go of old belief systems that you don't want to hold on to anymore. So really, I'm reading it like it's reversed. So letting go of strings that may have been attached in previous decisions or lifetimes or what have you. And with the Six of Swords, really, it's just like you're moving forward. It's kind of a gentle nudge forward where you can really put things behind you. It's not like the Eight of Cups, where with the Eight of Cups you really have to go through some kind of painful transformation, whereas the Six of Swords, you can just kind of float away, like you kind of just let things go. And that's kind of peaceful in a way. Like it's really kind of nice because you're letting go of this sort of negative image of yourself, this negative idea of how you may have handled something in the past. and you're moving forward because we have the Ace of Wands, right? This is all about like finding that passion within you. What sparks your interest? What sparks your passion? What makes you tick, basically, in a good way, not necessarily like what makes you go angry, but like it's more about what really drives you to be a better version of yourself. I see. Okay. So we have the Five of Wands, and it's really, the way I'm seeing it is that paired with the Ace of Wands is that the Ace of Wands is really taking charge, and the Five of Wands is really kind of breaking through and removing these 3 extra wands and going through this sort of portal that you're really kind of moving through, moving forward. So it's kind of like a venture into something new and perhaps unexpected, but you're not like making blocks for yourself in this sense. I think that with the Five of Wands, you're really kind of taking those mental blocks and just kind of pushing on through, because we also have the Knight of Swords, who is really charging through, really going through with plans and the ability to think things through. Okay, we have the King of Wands. Yeah, I mean, 3 wands in a row. It's kind of like you have the mastery to really kind of tame your inner wild self. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's just what I'm kind of getting at the moment. So, really coming out on the other side as a better person, a better kind of individual, a better all around being able to make those decisions with logic, but also with a fiery kind of passion. I never noticed this before, but with the King of Wands, he looks kind of similar to the Devil. So I don't know if you can really see it, but like their heads are, I don't know, something about their heads. Yeah, but like really kind of learning to focus your energy in a positive way is what the King of Wands is really kind of forcing you to look at. Okay, so we have the Ten of Cups. This Ten of Cups is really good energy. This is really kind of wholesome, sort of belonging energy that just really kind of validates your sense of self, like your ideals, your vision, your feelings towards yourself and others. And I mean, if you really want, you can like own a little house in the woods with a stream next to it and have a maypole in your backyard. Like, go for it. Like, it's kind of like the dream to live in the middle of the woods, right? I mean, it's my dream, but yeah, it's just like you can make things happen. You can manifest those things that you really want to happen. And we have the Page of Wands. We've been getting this card quite a bit lately. So with the Page of Wands, you'll notice that the page is blindfolded in this card. That's really just kind of a validation, again, another type of validation about you doing the right thing, about you kind of figuring out your own path and really moving forward through that path. Not necessarily blindfolded, but kind of using your intuition more. Really kind of focusing inward and what you really want, like your passions, your drive. And so that's really kind of like again, another validation of you doing the right thing. And we have the Hanged Man. So you're in a spot where you've willingly put yourself there, and you kind of have created this new perspective for yourself. You've really kind of allowed yourself that freedom to explore other perspectives and really create your own opinions and belief systems based on this new sort of perspective. So it's really kind of like a shift in viewpoint of how things are going for you. Next, we have the Chariot. And so the Chariot, again, is very much about determination, about finding your passion, about really focusing on your ability to actually make things happen. In a positive way, too. Because, I mean, you have, like, a lot of the cards here have kind of castles in the background, and I think, like, castles, yes, they can represent fortresses, but I think they can also represent sort of solid foundations as well. And having that in most of the cards here is really just kind of a way of creating those sort of solid foundations too. I'm pulling an extra card just because I'm not exactly sure where this is going. Okay, so this sort of new perspective, this new way of thinking of things is really kind of ushering in good potential partner energy. So we have the Lovers, right? I don't normally read the Lovers as what it really should mean, as like you know, just a relationship. I don't always read it as a relationship card. Most of the time I see it as like a contract with yourself or with other people. And I suppose that could be how a relationship is. But with the Three of Wands, you're kind of moving forward with this person. I can see something about like going away to like new horizons or something with the Three of Wands, kind of just being together. It's really kind of an interesting read, I guess, or take on the read, because, you know, you've done all this stuff for yourself, but then here comes like another person who maybe shares your values and, yeah, I mean, could be just the type of person you want. Okay, so this last card I pulled, I'll read, and then after that I'll do a top and bottom read, and then I think I'll pull a couple oracles. This last card is the Seven of Pentacles, and this is really kind of looking at all of the foundations you've built for yourself, all of the bounty that you've brought in for yourself, and all the good things that you've made for yourself. So whatever you've done with, oh, excuse me, with your life, Emily, the yawning psychic, you know, with everything you've done positively in your life, this sort of making fast moving progress through your life, you're really just kind of sitting back and thinking, okay, like, maybe I didn't do so half bad. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit where credit's due, and there has been forward momentum. Okay, top and bottom. The top is the Seven of Swords, and the bottom is the Ten of Swords. So it's kind of like, for the whole reading, this is all about the whole reading. So we started off as the Seven of Swords, as being really kind of cagey and avoidant in a way. But then towards the end, we bring in the Ten of Swords, and that's really like the end of a vicious cycle, the end of something that no longer serves you anymore. So it's really just like, again, validating what you've already known. So, oh my God, I'm going to pull from my Woodland Wardens deck. And see what we get from this. Because I like this deck a lot. Cards are flying all over the place. Okay. We have the Raccoon and Sycamore, and this is about curiosity. It's about having the curiosity to really explore your interests and your options within your with your life and how you want things to really kind of move forward. Also, curiosity about others as well. I knew I was going to pull this card. I had a feeling. The Coyote and Datura, and that's about deceit. So we do have the Devil card in here. And I think what this is saying really is just like really look at things from, or try to look at things from an objective point of view as possible, or as objective as you can be. So really, like, don't fool yourself into thinking something is what it really isn't. So if you think like, oh, I'm not making this forward momentum, I'm not making the progress that I wanted, or I'm not at the place where I wanted to be when I'm, you know, this age or that age, this is really kind of just about like taking a hard look at yourself and really remembering like what's really true for yourself and how you've made progress. Because I know that, you know, we like to deceive ourselves very often, and I do so myself. It's just not a fun time. Okay. We have the Wolf and Rosehip, and that's about guardianship. And I like to think of this card as more of like, yes, being a guardian, but also being kind of like a guide for others and, well, for also yourself as well. So I think like being a sentinel to your values, to what you believe in, to what you really love to do, and really kind of holding on to that with purpose and really kind of allowing that to move forward, allowing yourself to move forward. And last, we have the Hound and Pair, and that's about loyalty. Like, where do your loyalties lie? It's with yourself first, about making yourself happy. I said last, but I'm going to pull another one just because, or maybe two more. But yeah, it's really just like being a sentinel, being loyal to yourself, and really kind of focusing on your values the most. Like, what is it that you're doing right? We have the Bee and Pomegranate, and that's all about productivity. And you know, it's really just like this Seven of Pentacles, right? So you've really been very productive. You've been working towards your goals. You can finally, you know, sit back and relax and kind of enjoy the fruits of your labor. Exactly. And we have the Cat in Lavender, and that's all about independence. It could be any kind of independence. It could be like financial independence. It could be spiritual independence. It could be any way you look at independence, however you think of it, it could be that. So whatever it means to you, that way of thinking about being independent, maybe independent of others, it's just really kind of, again, another validation of how things are going for you. So anyway, that's all I have for you right now. So until next time, bye everyone.